didn't realise you could live in a van. That sounds like a pretty cushy idea. The time flies when you're having rum. That's my life motto. I guess technically I'm homeless. I can easily work on a farm, even if they're just paying sort of minimum wage. When you don't have any outgoings, minimum wage goes a long way, so.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're meeting up with Alex, who's a nomadic farm worker living from his caravan.
He's got a really interesting lifestyle, so definitely stick around to see exactly how he makes it work. And we hope that you enjoy the video. Let us know in the comments what you think. And if you want to see more content like this, then make sure you're subscribed. Back to it.
So I'm Gil. I am the Footloose farmhand. So I'm a travelling freelance farm worker. This is my caravan. I live in full time and I tow it with my beast of a truck. I've always sort of had itchy feet. I've always loved traveling. My parents took me and my sister away a lot. They used to have a little sailing boat, so many of my childhood summers were spent sailing around the Dorset coast, around the Solent. And then I went to uni and I did outdoor activity leadership, and through that I met a lot of sort of climbing bums, people who just do nothing but rock climb and they live in their vans. So I was like, oh, I didn't realise you could live in a van. That sounds like a pretty cushy idea. And then finished uni and started working as a sort of an outdoor instructor, but doing seasonal work. And a lot of that was abroad. And then Brexit happened. Seasonal work abroad became very difficult. So me and my ex-partner at the time decided we were going to buy a van and still do seasonal work, but we started doing seasonal work on campsites in the UK. I did that for a year or so, and then COVID happened. Obviously the campsites were closed. We didn't want to just be stuck on the road. So we came here actually. This farm where I'm at now is run by a good old friend of mine. And because we weren't working, I sort of started helping out on the farm, doing odd jobs and sort of chipping in, and just fell in love with farming lifestyle, working with the livestock. And yeah, sort of been doing it ever since really. I mean, I joke that I'm sort of roughing it. I guess technically I'm homeless, but I guess also technically I'm full-time glamping. Like I've got a caravan with a log burner in it and a diesel heater. Like it's bougie caravan living. So I'm not necessarily roughing it, but I think a lot of people that live in houses and have never experienced van life or traveling would probably consider it roughing it. So yeah, I'm definitely not roughing it by any stretch. My favourite thing about living like this is, well, it's cliche alert, but the freedom. I can basically pick and choose where I want to work, how often I want to work. The way I sort of do it is I pick a point on a map where I want to be and I go, right, I'm going to search around this area for farms, ping out a load of emails, and I get some saying no, some saying yeah, come and have a chat. Obviously I've got my own accommodation that I provide, so most of the time if I rock up at a farm, I'm not paying rent, I don't have bills. The only expenses I have really are the insurance and tax and stuff for the truck, but other than that it's just food. I don't have any other outgoings. So yeah, I can easily work on a farm even if they're just paying sort of minimum wage. When you don't have any outgoings, minimum wage goes a long way. So it's yeah, it sees me through pretty well, and I live pretty comfortably, which is ideal. Yeah, so this is my caravan. I call it a Bishy Barney Bee, which is a Norfolk term for ladybird. So I bought this caravan just over a year ago now, actually. So I've been in it just over a year. I think I paid just over £1,000, maybe £1,200, I think. And yeah, it looked like a caravan when I first bought it. It's a Sterling Voyager. That probably means nothing to anyone unless you're into your caravans. I can't remember what year it is. I can't remember how old it is. 1993, something like that. Yeah, so I made this little sort of pallet decking, I guess you can call it. Well, I say made. I put some pallets down in front of my caravan. On here, there's a front locker. Sort of all caravans have this. There's a spare wheel, gas bottle, and the diesel heater. I put the diesel heater in here as well that vents into the caravan itself.
Alright guys, these videos wouldn't be possible without the support of our sponsors. And today, that's Jackery. We've been using the Jackery 2000 V2 solar generator for a while now, and we genuinely recommend it to everyone.
We honestly think it is the perfect solution to being off-grid, van life or any similar adventure. It's got 6 output ports, 2042 watt-hour capacity and a 2200 watt output. So it handles anything we throw at it. We're editing for days on end, so power's no worry with this.
For me, it fits right into my van build under there, hardly taking any space at all. And I charge it from the solar, but you can also charge it from the wall, from the car charger, or from a hybrid setup. It charges multiple devices, so I'm charging lights, batteries, I've got my fridge plugged into it, and I'm working on my laptop all at the same time.
And what I really love is the simplicity. There's no need for complicated wiring or electrical installations. Everything's built into one package. And it's also super portable. It's the world's smallest and lightest 2 kilowatt-hour solar generator, making it perfect for camping or off-grid setups.
One thing that surprised me is the built-in light. It's been an awesome feature that I've used way more than I thought I would, and it's been super handy at night.
So we can 100% recommend the Jackery 2000 V2. It's just a really versatile and powerful bit of kit. And right now there's a limited time discount, so head over to the link in the description to get yourself one. And with that, thanks to Jackery for sponsoring this video. Back to it.
Yeah, so I've got the diesel heater in here, which is great. It means I can, I've got a remote for it, so it means when I'm in bed, I can wake up, click it on with the remote. I don't even have to get out of bed. And that means when I get up, it's already warm when I get up to light the log burner. Obviously you can see the flue, so I did put a log burner in. It's probably the only, aside from painting it, putting the log burner in is probably the only major thing I've done to the Caravan after I bought it. So yeah, this is the main outside of the Caravan, this is the other side. This is where the battery is. I think it's about 100 amp hour, just a normal leisure battery, and that will run the lights and stuff. So even if I'm not plugged in, I can still use that. We'll get a solar panel or something up there on the roof when I can be bothered and afford it, but at the moment, that's what's there, and that does me well. That's where the joys of the chemical toilet live. And then this is a little aqua roll, what is it, 40 litres, so 40 litres of fresh water, and then the pump straight to the taps. I tend not to drink from that, so I can fill it up pretty much anywhere there's water. It doesn't have to be drinking water, I just use it for washing up, things like that. So yeah, this is the sort of front of the Caravan, I guess. This is the main door. There is a light up there which doesn't work. I would like to fix it at some point, I just need to get round to it. Aside from that, there's not much on this side. There's the flue for the log burner, obviously you can see. There's the vents for the fridge, windows. This is something to do with an old alarm system that is definitely still on the Caravan and definitely works, so don't rob me. This is a sort of a stable door kind of door, so it means I can have it open like that, which is really nice. Usually if it's cold but sunny and I've got the log burner on, the van gets super hot, so I just open the door like that. It allows a bit of a breeze through, which is nice. I'm pretty happy with how I've got the setup. I think in the future I will, as I say, I'll get some solar panels up on the top so that I can be off-grid for a bit of a longer period of time. I do spend a little bit of time out on the road, but usually while I'm based on the farm, I've got access to water. Most of the time I'll have access to electric as well, which is really good. So yeah, I can just plug in and sort of live as normal. But yeah, I'd like a decent off-grid solar setup at some point in the future. But yeah, apart from that, it's perfect for what I kind of need. I have lived in a flat previously. Obviously when I was a student, I was in student houses and stuff. And after uni, I rented a flat for 6 months, but it was rubbish. It was a cheap, horrible flat that wasn't even that cheap. There was no heating, it was grim. I like to move around. I don't do well if I'm in one place for too long, doing the same thing for ages. I get very bored very quickly. This setup works perfect for sort of how I live. Usually when I'm working on a farm, I'll be there for, I don't know, a month up to sort of 6, 7, 8 months, a full season. So it means I can just plonk the Caravan wherever the farmer wants me to plonk it. It can literally go anywhere, and then it means I've still got the truck. I can get in and out of town. I can use it for work. It's 4x4, it's pretty capable, so I can get it out pretty much anywhere on the farm. So I could go fix a wall wherever the walls come down, or go check on the cows wherever the cows happen to be. And obviously with the roof tent, it means I can then pick up a little job on the side and go work away for a couple of days a week and not have to lug the caravan around. Knew I was talking about it. Yeah, I think it's definitely accessible for other people, especially if you already have a sort of background in farming. A lot of farmers are quite traditional in the way that they have their sort of network, and they won't stray outside of that. So I kind of have a unique situation where I sort of fell into it almost, where I had a friend who was running a farm who allowed me to come and stay, and sort of, because I wasn't working at the time, I sort of naturally sort of picked it up and gained experience that way. But even so, I think it's if you sort of have your head half screwed on and you're willing to get stuck in and try different things and work with different people, it's fairly easy to get into. Yeah, since Brexit, I feel like I've mentioned Brexit loads of times now, but since Brexit, obviously a lot of the European workforce that used to work on farms in the UK is sort of dwindled, diminished. So a lot of fruit picking jobs, things like that, used to be all Europeans. It's not as easy for them now, so there is more demand, I think, for Brits to work on British farms. And a lot of the time, those sort of fruit picking jobs, they do provide accommodation and a wage on top of that. It's usually only minimum wage, as I say, but if you're not paying any rent or anything, then minimum wage goes a long way. So I think since Brexit, actually, for people that are willing to sort of rough it, in a sense, like I do, and travel from farm to farm, then it's done me all right. Yeah, it's done me pretty well. All right, so this is my Caravan Bishy Barney Bee. Come in and have a look. Cool, so yeah, as you come in, I've got an axe and a knife, which is mainly for sort of processing wood, firewood for the fire, but also security. If I'm parked up roadside, I can appear with an axe pretty quick. Bottle opener as well, it's another essential of caravan life. And then this is my bed. So it is a double bed, but it is quite small. Luckily, me and my partner are both quite small, so we do fit quite snugly, which is nice. Pirate flag, the time flies when you're having rum. That's my life motto. And then plants, more plants. Yeah, cupboards, that's where I keep my clothes, just up there. Yeah, I don't really have that many clothes, so most of that is my underwear. And then one for t-shirts and one for trousers and shorts and stuff. So there is limited storage, so you do have to be sort of conscious about what you buy and what you have. It is a small space, it's smaller than a house, so I've probably got less stuff than the average person. But even if I had a bigger caravan, I still ended up filling it with stuff. I think whatever space you have, you end up filling ultimately, unless you're like really strict minimalist, which I'm definitely not. I've got a light above the bed, so that just works normally as the caravan light, but I have also got some fairy lights as well that are on a I've got a remote, so it means I can be laying in bed and I don't have to even reach up to reach that to turn the lights off when I go to bed. I can just press the button and they do funky colours and stuff as well. So I can have a little rave in bed, which is lovely. In here is a toilet. I won't show you because it looks like a toilet, just a caravan toilet. But there is a shower as well, but I tend not to use the shower. A lot of the places that I park up at farms, they tend to have some sort of facilities I can use if I need to. When you live in a caravan or a van, you spend a lot of the time trying to keep damp out. So why I then go and stand in a room and make it soaking wet for half an hour each day, I don't understand. So this is the kitchen. So I've got a 4-burner gas hob that needs a clean, so I'll shut that again. There's a grill, gas grill, and then an oven as well. So I can pretty much cook whatever I want. I don't think it's any different to sort of cooking in a house. Maybe the oven's slightly smaller than you'd get in a house. And then yeah, various cupboards full of food and coffee and mugs and plates and bowls and stuff, you know, normal kitchen stuff. This is my Madness cutlery drawer. It's got every single utensil I own in one drawer, which is a bit of a nightmare sometimes. Fridge, which is a normal sort of caravan fridge. So at the moment I'm plugged in onto the mains, so it's powered by the mains. It will run off 12 volt while you're driving. So when I'm driving, I can hook the truck up and that will charge the battery which then powers the fridge, or I can run it on gas as well. So if I don't have access to electric hookup, then I can run that on the gas and still have the fridge and the freezer. There's a little tiny little freezer box in there as well. Sink, I do have running water. Obviously you saw the little aqua roll thing outside. So it's a 40 litre aqua roll that I use for fresh water. There is a hot water tap, but I did a silly this winter and didn't drain the tank down, and it froze, and the pipes going into the water heater have burst. So I don't have hot water that way anymore. So but I just boil the kettle if I want to do the washing up. And then there's a little draining board, and then there's a little extra surface for chopping veg and things like that. So down here we've got the fake fire that I put in. It's just a plug-in 240 volt heater, but I've hardwired it into a spare switch I had, and it sort of glows as well. It looks nice and pretty, but it does give off heat as well. And then up here is just a wardrobe, which is just full of clothes, like any old wardrobe. So this is my log burner. So yeah, it's a Glastonbury Burners log burner. It's the Cyclops Mini, and it's a great little burner for the money you pay. Having an actual log burner, a real fire, it's just such a nice warmth. It's a much better heat, I think. It's proper warms you through rather than just having some warm air being blown at you. I've wrapped some exhaust tape around the flue. Much cheaper than getting a double skin flue. It still gets warm, but even if the fire's roaring, I can hold my hand on the top of the flue like that, and it's hot, but I don't get burnt. So that just protects all the sort of shelves and cupboards up here from some of the excess heat. The only thing maybe I'd change is the location of the burner. I don't know how else I'd have it in this caravan, but it's quite far away from my bed, so my bed does stay quite cold at night, but I just got a thick duvet to counteract that. One of the farms I worked at in the run up to Christmas last year was a reindeer farm, and they drop their antlers every year and regrow new ones in the spring. So this is one of the antlers that's come off one of the reindeer. It sort of separates the kitchen from the living space a little bit, and it means I can just hang stuff on it and it looks cool. And I can, like, if I've got wet gloves or wet socks or something, I can use it as a drying hook for when the burn is on. This is my sort of living space. So I've got the two sort of bench seats. There is a bed thing that pulls out, so this can become another double bed. This sort of table flips up as well, so this sort of pulls out to about here, so you can sit here and eat dinner on the table like a civilized human. Not that I ever do, I always eat off my lap. Obviously the big front window did have curtains, but they were like horrible pink velvet and it was disgusting and proper caravan-y, so I took them out and I've just put this throw. I can roll it up and it hooks up there, but because where I am at the moment there's a public footpath running through this farm, so any old person can wander through and stare through my window, so I like this here. It allows light in, but it gives me a bit of privacy as well, which is nice. More plants, obviously you've got to have plants, and multiple peacock feathers from the farm I worked at over last summer. I had peacocks and they shed the peacock feathers, so I've got thousands of the things. I've got a speaker here, so I do like listening to music, so that's just a Bluetooth speaker. And then this is Barbara, who is a sheep skull with peacock feather eyes and a calf's horn, hat, and a little septum piercing as well. More cupboards. So this side is just food, basically. This is sort of electrical bits and bits that don't really have a place in any other cupboard, basically. And then little bookshelf. I do like to read, so I could just chill out on the sofa and read a book every now and then. Yeah, I've tried to make it look as least caravan-y as possible. It was very beige when I first bought it. Tried to adjust the colour scheme. I had to go red to match the sort of red with the outside as well. But yeah, just fill it with sort of dangly bits and hanging tat to make it feel a bit more homely. Put some art up on the walls and things like that. And plants, that's key. Always have plants in a small space. They fill the space really well and they look good. Oh, I've broken Barbara. Cool. Sorry. Yeah, at the moment I think this is me for the long term. I don't see why I'd change anything. It's doing me well. I'm still fit and healthy, so I can still do the work. I'd love some point down the line to have my own bit of land to have as a like base. Obviously I love farming, I love working the land, so I'd love to have my own farm one day. Maybe not a massive commercial farm, definitely, but maybe like a little smallholding or something where I can just be self-sufficient sort of thing. That would be nice. But yeah, I think there's always going to be a stigma, unfortunately, in this country because people are afraid of what they don't know. Sort of caravan living in general, I think sort of has a stigma from the way people think about the traveling communities, they have a pretty negative sort of stigma around them, unfortunately, which is obviously a lot of the time untrue, but it doesn't stop it being real in the sense that a lot of people believe it. So they're just jealous at the end of the day. I think they're like, I'm thousands of pounds worth in debt, I'm stuck in this horrible flat doing a job I hate, but look at you, you're just living your best life. How dare you? My advice to people who want to live like this would be just do it. If you think you want to do it, give it a go. What have you got to lose? But you don't have to jump into it at the deep end. If you're talking farm work specifically, then there are big companies that will hire you as like fruit pickers and stuff, and they do provide accommodation. And so you could do that for the harvest season for a month or two, and then go back to your flat. You could rent a camper van for a bit and do it that way, and see if it's something that you like, and like kind of get the real feel for it. It's definitely accessible. You just got to do it. You've got to put the effort in and go for it. Yeah, cool. So thanks for listening to me yabber on about my life. You can find me on Facebook as the Footloose Farmhand. I'm on Instagram as the Footloose Farmhand if you want to stay up to date with my agricultural adventures, or just my sort of personal Instagram, which is more sort of just me doing what I do. That's the Punky Bumpkin on Instagram. Yeah, thanks for watching.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in there, and a big thanks to Alex for sharing his story with us and showing us around.
Make sure to follow Alex on the socials. All the links will be down below in the description. And we hope that you enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comments what you thought.
For us personally, this was a really interesting video because we've both done a bit of farm work, and we think that Alex's lifestyle is super interesting. So let us know in the comments if you think that you could live this way. And with that, thanks to Alex again, and we'll see you in the next one.